First off, let's thank the grace of heaven and the virtues of the masters, the mercy of the grand predecessor, transmitting masters, lecturers, and everyone here today for this opportunity. Respect teachers and value the Tao. Follow ZhiShan and guide Hoshu. Okay, so ZhiShan, you can say seniors, and Hoshu are juniors. Okay, it's kind of unwieldy, but okay. So in the temple, we have the temple environment. There are, you can say the culture. Okay, the culture. You know, when we talk about culture, is like talking about culture within a company, right? Company culture, corporate culture. So the temple culture includes its precepts, proprieties, and policies, and of course, you know, the people within it. Okay, so yeah, I kind of divide like three types of things here. The precepts, which you know we should all be familiar with. It's like principles and disciplines, okay, of cultivation. So those include like 15 temple disciplines or 15 temple rules that I think we covered that in last year. Then you also have proprieties. Okay, so the precepts are more, I guess, they're geared towards our cultivation, although you know they're also I guess in relation to how we deal with other people or situations, things like that. Now, proprieties are, you can say that there are two types, I guess. You have ceremonial proprieties. Okay, so in the temple, we have all sorts of, you know, for example, we all should know how to do the arrival and departure propriety, right? When we come to the temple, we do those bows. When we leave the temple, we do those bows as well. Now, and then so there are, you know, those are, you can say, yeah, ceremonial. So it's like when we receive the Tao, there is also that ceremonial propriety. And then when we, in the morning and evening incense offering, right? All these things. Then you have more like the ethical rules, or you can say they're social rules, ethical rules. Okay, how people should, I guess, how they conduct themselves in relation to other people in the temple. And I guess maybe, well, the three distinctions, it's partly both. Well, it's not, no, I mean, it's yeah, it's actually one of the ethical rules. So there are a bunch of these too. And you know, what we're talking about today will fall under this category. And then you also have, you can say, policies, okay? The policies are like rules and guidelines set by the Tao Center. Okay, so the temple, there's besides, you know, you have the transmitting masters, you have the lecturers, temple hosts, staff members, etc. Okay, but then the Tao Center is kind of like a group within that of typically it's, you know, you have the transmitting masters and lecturers in there, and maybe temple hosts as well, and they kind of like make decisions for the temple. Okay, and so they can set rules and guidelines, including, you know, how the class, you know, the requirements for attending classes, etc. All these rules. Okay. So now these policies are set by, you know, people, right? Now the precepts and proprieties that we talked about are set by, you can say, the Buddhas and saints are the patriarchs and the predecessors. Okay, they've set these things. And so, but anyways, so, you know, the combination of all these things, plus the different types of people who are in the temple, you know, they're different, you can say with their different roles or responsibilities, right? So that is the culture, and these ethical or social rules have basically are part of that culture that we can see, right? Okay, so there are two parts to this, I guess. You can say 尊师重道, the respect the teachers and value the Tao, right? And the second part, 承上启下. Okay, so follow the propriety between, we call it ZhiShan and Hoshu. So propriety in this instance, right? It's the protocol or etiquette right? So that's part of the social rules, let's say, so to speak. And then ZhiShan, of course, are predecessors. Are people who are, have a lot of virtue, or what we call seniors. But seniors doesn't mean, age, right? That they're older necessarily. These are seniors, or basically predecessors of the people who are in the temple before us and have been cultivating longer than us. Okay. And then, so you'll hear these terms a lot, right? ZhiShan and Hoxue. Well, ZhiShan can also can also refer to basically anyone, anyone in the temple as well. But the way I'm using it here is basically, referring to those who are, more senior, or their predecessors in the Tao. Okay. Now, Hoxue, also you hear that a lot too. We typically refer to ourselves as Hoxue. Hoxue is like a follower, basically newer member. We could say juniors. Again, this is within the Tao, has nothing to do with our age. Okay, sometimes we might say it's our Tao age, which how long we've been cultivating in the Tao, right? So this is, and then we are all, so these are all relative. These two are relative, these terms, right? Because we can be both ZhiShan and Hoxue, okay? But because depending on, because everything's relative, right, to between different people. So this makes it kind of interesting, right? We're all Hoxue, and we can also be ZhiShan for other people. I mean, this is actually kind of broad, actually. So this is a broad propriety that covers a lot, but it's not. I guess it's not complete. It doesn't cover everything, okay, between all the people, but. So just between kind of like those before us and after us. Okay. First one, respect the teachers and value Tao. That's like a discipline. That's similar to like the 15 temple rules or disciplines. Okay. And then so you can also say that this first one deals with it's kind of like the self, right? Kind of like the self with in relation to the Tao, okay, and also in relation to what we call the teachers or the holy teachers.承上启下then is us in relation to the ZhiShan and Hoxue, so more between people. So you might say that this is maybe the first one is kind of like essence, and then the second one is function, okay? Because actually the first one kind of incorporates the second one as well. All right, so holy teacher says, to respect the teachers and value the Tao, because that's the尊師重道, is a temple discipline. Right, is that okay? To follow the ZhiShan and guide the Hoxue prevents disorder. Right, everyone's happy, harmonious, and at ease, cooperating in the holy affairs. Right, so you can kind of say that the respect to teachers and value Tao is one of the precepts or the principles or main disciplines in the temple. And the second one is kind of maintains this orderliness within the temple, among the people, basically in its operation, how it functions. Because, obviously it's functioning with, how, interactions between people. So, and so it keeps it from going into chaos and disorder. But these two parts, right, these two aspects, refers to, in general, all the precepts and proprieties in the temple. Okay, so you can say it's kind of like a shorthand when we say 尊師重道承上啟下. Okay, kind of like it kind of covers all the main principles within the temple. Okay, rather than try to go through the list of 15. Those are more specific. Right? Yeah. Okay. So respecting the teachers, value the Tao. Okay. So who are the teachers? You can say that it's the Buddhas, saints, right? Patriarchs, predecessors. So these are the ones who have heaven's mandate, right? Their heaven's mandate to transmit the Tao. Right? Okay. And so we typically say that, those are our holy teachers. And then I guess you can include the transmitting masters within this group, because they also have this mandate to transmit the Tao. Okay, but it's generally when we say尊師重道, it's referring to the Buddhas, the saints, patriarchs, predecessors. Okay, now then when they say value the Tao, right? So what is the Tao? In this case, we're talking about the truth and the principles, right? The true principles of the Tao. And also the teachings of the Tao, basically. So, all these sutras, scriptures, classics, these are all teachings of the Tao. And actually the precepts and proprieties are also teachings of the Tao. These are more of the practice, okay, side of things. And so these are all part of the Tao. Then, okay, down here, we also have, I mentioned earlier, we have rules, policies, guidelines, and these are set by the Tao Center. So again, now, strictly speaking, yeah, you can say that, well, this is respecting teachers and value Tao doesn't really include what's these other rules, policy, guidelines set by the Tao Center, but actually they do, because, it affects us in the temple's functioning. Okay, so it does. So in other words, the rules set by the Tao Center are just as valid. Okay, I mean, we have to follow those rules as well. Okay, just because it's not spoken or given by a Buddha or saint or a patriarch or a predecessor, doesn't matter. Okay, because the Tao Center represents the temple. All right, so we have to follow those. Okay, now, why do we want to respect the teachers? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. They have heaven's mandate to transmit the Tao, right? Without that heaven's mandate, they would be like any other teacher, right? So it could be a teacher, in another religion, or it could be, just a mundane, subject teacher, right, in school. But so this is kind of what makes the difference between our teachers, what I might say some holy teachers, or because they can transmit the Tao. They also teach us how to cultivate and attain Buddhahood. So, this is not something that you can learn elsewhere, right? So, and then they can help clear up our confusion and ignorance, right? So this is what, all sentient beings are basically confused and ignorant about the real purpose in life. And so this is where they can enlighten us, right? Awaken us to the truth. And also, why do we respect teachers is to show our gratitude and respect. Okay, so yeah, it's basically, it's kind of redundant here, but we have to be grateful that we have this opportunity, that we have the affinity to be able to receive these the Tao, and to be in this environment in the temple, the Tao temple, where we can study and learn and practice, right? And basically to perform merits, cultivate ourselves, and fulfill our vows. Okay, so that's we might think it's like there's not a big deal. Okay, so I paid my merit fee, I received the Tao, and what do I need to be grateful? Well, because the Tao, it took thousands of years, literally thousands of years, to get to us. Okay, and now that we're in this auspicious time of the white era, where the universal salvation of three realms, where we can receive the Tao and cultivate, and if we cultivate, put in the effort, sincere effort, then we can also transcend and attain Buddhahood. Okay, now the chief examiner of the three realms says, to honor and respect teachers is to respect their Tao mandate and the virtues. Right? So that's primarily what it's about. So it's not, we don't respect the teacher or as a person. Okay, so we are respecting their mandate. right? So that's what sets them apart from others. That's what's special. Okay, now they're obviously transmitting masters, you know, okay, if we're talking about transmitting, I mean, of course, when we're talking about patriarchs and, you know, even some predecessors, you know, they are like Buddhas reborn, okay? So they are actually Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in this life. But, you know, if we're talking about transmitting masters, yeah, you know, we're all human, right? Everyone's human. And they are, you know, as far as, yeah, they're not, you can say they're not Buddhas yet, or they're not Bodhisattvas yet. So they don't have the same, you know, I guess, level of virtue and merit, right? So obviously they're human, they have flaws, they have mistakes, they have their temperament, all that. And so we're not respecting that, okay, we're respecting his mandate. So basically also you could say that we're not following a person, okay? We're following the mandate, we're following the Tao, the truth. Okay, so what does it mean to value the Tao, right? We place importance on the truth and the true principles. You know, that's what the Tao is about. It's truth, the ultimate truth, and it has all these principles, the Tao principles, the true principles. We pursue the truth and spread the truth. Okay, so hopefully, you know, when we receive the Tao, now I guess most of us probably were not really seeking the Tao or seeking that. Although in the Chinese, you know, the word is to seek it, right? You're seeking the Tao. But you know, so anyone who is seeking wants to seek that truth. Yeah. So we hopefully we are, but now that we see the Tao, hopefully, yeah, we want to pursue that truth. And as we learn more about the truth, we can also spread the truth to others. Okay, teach other, guide other people towards that truth as well. Right. The true principles should be applied everywhere as well. So when we value the Tao, obviously we should use these Tao principles, these true principles, apply it in our lives, everyday lives, and apply it to whatever situation we're in. Okay. Practice the true principles and live up to the purpose of the Tao also. Okay, so when we value it down, we're also, you know, obviously we put those principles that we learn and study into practice, and we have to live up to the purpose of the Tao, right? The purpose of the Tao is something that we, I think we talked about in the Xingming class, the new member class. And then finally, to use the truth to inspire our conscience and use virtue to transform people's hearts. Okay, so yeah, the truth is used to inspire us, okay, and but then we have to use our virtue. So the virtue in this case is, well, okay, there's the internal, but it's also, it has to be manifested, right? So only when we can manifest our virtues like compassion, you know, filial piety or integrity, all these virtues, that's how we can transform other people's lives. We can touch their lives. Okay, they can see it, right? They can see it, feel it. These virtues from us. Okay, so then that's how we can transform them. Okay, also, what does it mean to value the Tao? It says to carry out heaven's mandate. So heaven's mandate is to basically to transmit the Tao. Okay, to spread the Tao. Right. That is, you know, right now it's the period of universal salvation, 3 realms. So this is the time that we can spread the Tao, transmit the Tao to those who are willing and have the affinity to be able to receive it. Okay. And that's, you know, this mandate is basically our holy teacher's mission, and as the disciples of our holy teacher, you know, we help them carry it out. It's also to maintain this golden thread. Okay, so we talk about the golden thread. Of course, we have the internal golden thread, which links us directly to God, but the external golden thread is the one we're talking about here, which links us through our predecessors, you know, transmitting masters, predecessors, patriarchs, etc. Okay. So, and part of doing that in order to maintain that golden thread we have to follow the propriety between ZhiShan and Hoxie. So that's the second part of this what we're talking about here, right? So that's where this kind of incorporates that. And basically, it's also a reminder, I guess, to think of the source when we drink the water. Basically, that's a Chinese saying that we remember the source, remember where we come from, or remember where the Tao comes from. Okay, it comes through these generations, over the generations, thousands of years, and these generations of patriarchs or predecessors who sacrificed their lives to bring us this Tao. And therefore, that's why we should always be grateful. Okay, so how to respect the teachers and value the Tao. Right, we have to be considerate. Holy teachers vow and carry people. Okay, we have to carry out holy teachers' aspiration and fulfill our vows as well. So obviously, holy teachers they want the universal salvation. Have all sentient beings be saved. And our vows is really, when we take our vows, it's to help them do that. Okay, help them accomplish that. Carry out holy teachers' instructions properly. So, we get instructions from, whether it's, from the scriptures, or they could be also I guess we still call them scriptures, but, they're in the channeling in current times, in like the talent class, the holy teacher can give us instructions, and we should carry them out, follow them. Okay. And share in the worries and hard work to repay holy teachers' grace. So this is being part of being grateful. Yeah, whatever the holy teachers they were setting out to do, and their in this mission, right, of universal salvation. Yeah, we should take that on. Okay, obviously they're not here. The holy teachers are not here right now, but physically in this world. But we have the transmitting masters, lectures, temples, everyone here to help fulfill that their mission, right? And that's really one way to repay their grace. So now we're on to the second half, right? To follow the ZhiShan and guide Hoxie. It is to maintain the proprieties and disciplines of the temple. Okay, to respect the ZhiShan, okay, yeah. Again, what I said earlier, that ZhiShan can be both referring to those before us, or it can generally, we kind of broadly refer to everyone as ZhiShan, kind of as more polite way of doing it, okay, or humble way of saying it. But okay, so we should try to respect everyone. And the saints have said, if the temple is to flourish, right, the ZhiShan should love the Hoxie and promote more Hoxie. So basically, those who come before, right, they're more senior, etc., their predecessors, then they should obviously, love those who come after and try to promote them, right, those who come after, right? So it's just like, in the older, they try to help the younger to succeed, to progress, okay, and achieve. So similar idea here. Now, if the temple is to be good, then Hoxie and everyone should respect the ZhiShan. That's saying, so if basically the ZhiShan treats the Hoxie well, treats them, with kindness and all that, and mercy and compassion, and promotes them when it's appropriate, when they're ready, when they're able to take on responsibilities, then basically, yeah, the temple will flourish, because basically you will have this continuous cycle. Basically, the Tao then will continue on, right? From the ZhiShan to the Hoxie, and then on and on. Now, if the temple is to be good, then yeah, Hoxie and everyone should respect the ZhiShan as well. So this is kind of like the other half, the other side of the relationship, okay, between ZhiShan and Hoxie, right? So the ZhiShan should be respected. Now, notify ZhiShan when departing and report back when returning. So this is one of the things that maybe we tend to forget. This is very similar. In fact, this is basically the same as the in the 15 temple rules and regulations, number 11, right? 誣告反面. So basically to notify ZhiShan when you leave and then report back when you're returning. Okay, so that's incorporated in here. So basically we have a duty to report to the responsible ZhiShan, whoever is responsible, whether it's the transmitting master or a lecturer or temple host. Okay, when we go on a trip or undertake an assignment, like maybe the transmitter has given us an assignment, or the Gao Center has given us an assignment, then we should then kind of report to them or say that, okay, I'm going to be doing this, or if I'm leaving, going somewhere on a trip. Whether it's personal or for the temple, we have to let someone know. I mean, we can't just take off and nobody knows where we are. So there normally would be someone who's responsible, whether it's the transmitting master of the temple or temple host or some lecturers. Okay. When we return from a trip or complete an assignment, we also have a duty to report everything. So again, before we take on an assignment or go somewhere, we let them know. When we come back, we also let them know that, okay, I returned, or I'm safe and sound, I'm back, right? Because it's kind of like our parents, when we leave the house, we should let them know, obviously, and then when we come back, we should let them know that, okay, we're back. Otherwise, they're going to be worried. What happened to us, right? And also when we complete an assignment, or even if it wasn't completed, but we come back and we report what we've done, whether it's complete or what the status is, right? So we should report everything about that. Yeah, because again, this the responsibility, even though we're given a responsibility to perform, carry out an assignment. We still have to report back to them, okay? So because again, the assignment came from them and they need to know. So this is kind of like, there's a protocol, right? This is kind of like chain of command type of thing that you see, right, and elsewhere. When performing an assignment and a transmitter is present, we should ask for permission or express gratitude. Okay, so this is also like when there is a transmitting master present, and let's say we're in the temple, okay, and we're conducting, we're about to conduct, let's say someone's about to receive the Tao, okay, so we're going to conduct a ceremony, and we are assigned to be the announcers, right, part of the ceremony, being the announcers, okay, so we should then ask, and there would usually be a transmitter present, so we can ask them, can we begin, or can I light the lamps? Okay, so that's kind of part of this protocol, right? And we can also say, if we are just given this assignment, that we can thank the transmitter or whoever gave us the assignment, to thank them for having given this chance, to the opportunity to perform some merits, or to fulfill our vows. Okay, so this is kind of like, so that's why I say this is kind of like culture, right? We have to remember, this is, I mean, you might say this is kind of like a common courtesy, so to speak, but this is the type of culture we should have in the temple, right? We're always, we ask for permission before doing something. Now, obviously, it depends. I mean, you don't necessarily need to get permission to clean the floor if you see the floor is dirty, right? But for these other things, like a ceremony or something that needs to be done, then generally we ask for permission, and then again we also express our gratitude, or thanks, for having that opportunity to get, to be able to fulfill our vows. Okay. Now, so the principle behind this this part of it, okay, to follow ZhiShan and guide Hoshu, right? There's kind of like the underlying principle, basically is it okay? So it says, it is not enough just to take care of the ZhiShan, right? But we should also share the burden and do the work. Now, ZhiShan, they have greater responsibilities and may not be able to do everything, or they might forget to do something, right? Because they have a lot, a lot on their plates, and so we should step up and help make up for any deficiencies so as to resolve or prevent any misunderstandings by Hoshu. So let's say transmitting master, maybe they were supposed to do something, but they forgot, okay, or because they were just so busy, right? And the Hoshu, they see that, they say, oh wait, how come the transmitting master said he was going to do this, but didn't do this? Then it is up to us to try to smooth things over, try to make up for that deficiency or that omission, or as much as possible, so that there isn't that kind of a misunderstanding, right, by the Hoshu. Generally we see sometimes some transmitters, they will be they're busy, they're doing stuff in the temple, but then they're also doing a lot of things that are, let's say, I don't want to say below them, but they're doing a lot of menial tasks, okay? And they really shouldn't be doing that. I mean, this is, so when we see that, right, or hopefully even before we see that happening, we should definitely step up and say, what can I do to help? Or better yet, we need to know what we should be doing in the temple, what needs to be done in the temple, right? Just like I said, cleaning the floors, cleaning the bathrooms, these types of things, or kind of putting things away, organizing things. These are the things that we should learn to do on our own, right? Take the initiative to do it, and don't let transmitting masters do that, because they have other things to do, more important things to do. Okay, and that's why we have staff members, okay, in the temple, right? We're all staff members. We should do these things, and don't think that, oh, just because I'm a temple host or a lecturer, a speaker, that I don't need to do those things. I don't need to do classes. That's wrong. That's the wrong idea. Okay, that's absolutely wrong. Okay, we are all staff members. When we see something that needs to be done, we should do it. Okay, even if that means cleaning the bathroom or whatever, right? So that's because again, what are we cultivating? Right, to be humble. Right, the Tao is humble. Okay, so if we can't, we say I'm above doing these things, then that's arrogant. That's arrogance. Okay, and we cannot be arrogant if we want to succeed in cultivating Tao. Okay, we cannot be a lecturer and be arrogant. We cannot be a temple host and be arrogant. Okay, it doesn't work. Right? We should do our best in what we are assigned to do and not shirk off the responsibility. So again, this is where we are given an assignment. A lot of times maybe we say, oh, well, I don't know how to do these things. I don't know. I mean, obviously you don't assign people to do things that, that's beyond them. Okay. So like, we don't, computer, sometimes there's maybe computer work, okay, something that needs to be done on the computer and working with a spreadsheet or something. And so not everyone's going to be able to do that, obviously. So we're not going to ask someone to just is incapable of doing that to do something, right? But basically, generally we would ask someone if they are capable of learning to do it. That's fine. And we should try not to push back and say, oh no, I don't want to do it. So Holy Teacher says, right, we should say more of okay, no problem, right, when they ask us to do something, I do not say no way to everything, right? Let alone using, oh, I'm too busy and don't know how, right, as an excuse. Okay, so by shirking responsibility, we have missed an opportunity to learn and fulfill vows, right? And it would be discourteous to the Chen who asked us to, to do something. Right, so this is something that, yeah, I mean, I realize that maybe, for some people, if you're relatively new, that it may be, well, it's like there's a lot of pressure, right, to be asked to do something, and this is like maybe your first time you're going to do something, but that's okay. We all learn, we all start somewhere, and I'm the whoever asked you to take on the assignment, to do the assignment, they should be understanding if we make mistakes, or can't complete the task, or whatever. I mean, they should be understanding and tolerant of that as well. Okay, but we should definitely have the attitude, I guess, of yes, I'm willing to try. Okay, as long as it's it's definitely not beyond you. I'm willing to try, then that's the right attitude. Okay, because that's how we can fulfill our vows, right? We have to be able to do it. Okay. We have to speak honestly without bias and give sincere advice. I do not flatter. Only with conscientious advice can we guide the Hoshua well. Okay, so as Chen, and we are giving advice to people, yeah, it should be honest and unbiased. Okay, and obviously it should be sincere, right? And we should never flatter people, right? Just flattering, when we flatter people, is usually there's a motive, right? You're trying to get something out of them. And so that's why we say, say some nice things about them that may not necessarily be true, or just over the top. Okay, so flattery is not, in fact, flattery is one of the 4 evil speeches. But anyways, and so yeah, so that's how we can guide Osho. Now, Chen should also be tolerant and magnanimous to make progress, for themselves, right? To make progress in their own cultivation, right? Try to accept as many suggestions as possible and don't hold back the Hoshu. Okay, so if we're like a transmitting master or our lecturer or temple host, we might get a lot of advice or suggestions, ideas from a lot of people. Yeah, we shouldn't just reject, people outright, because it's my way or the highway, right? We can't do that. Right? We have to be able to consider all the suggestions and try to think of what's best, okay, for what's most benefit to everyone. Okay, and we shouldn't hold people back from progressing either, right? You shouldn't say, oh, you can't you can't progress. Give them the opportunity to progress. But again, we can't also force people to let's say, like these classes, right? These 5-year classes, right? Obviously, we encourage people to go through this curriculum if they can, and do as the best they can to push themselves to progress through these levels. Okay, but we can't force them, right? And we shouldn't force them. Okay, so we can't say, oh, this, you have to do it. Okay, so but we encourage them because it's also for their own good, right? Okay, so how to guide Hoshia? Okay, so basically we kind of serve as a bridge, okay, between Chen and Hoshia. Okay, so right, we are all Chen in some capacity, and we are also Hoshia in some capacity, but sometimes we can be in between, right? So, I mean, so we obviously we always have those who are Chen right above us. So let's say whether they're temple host, lecturer, or transmitter above us, and we also have people below us or to come after us. Okay, that maybe we're guiding, teaching. Okay, so we have to be a bridge between them. All right. So we should praise the virtues of Chen and help make up for any deficiencies that might be there, right? So just like what we said earlier, that maybe, no one's perfect, right? So even transmitting masters, lectures, temples, no one, not perfect. And so when we see that there's a need to kind of make up for something, or to try to, we should try to do that, right? And it's for the good, the greater good, so to speak, the greater good, okay? Good of everyone, good for the temple. And, so sometimes there's, there might be some, I would say maybe like I don't know, a conflict of ideas between people, and we kind of try to work things out between them, smooth things over, okay, smooth things out between people. This is, the kind of the more general thing here of being like a bridge. And the other aspect of being a bridge is like communication, right? So we have kind of like this, I don't know, I want to say like a hierarchy, this chain of command, so to speak, where like the Tao Center makes a decision, and then it needs to be disseminated, and it goes through the directing lecture. So you have like the directing transmitter is kind of responsible for the execution of those decisions, and then the directing transmitter then enlists the directing lecturer to maybe communicate with other people, whether it's other lecturers or temple hosts or other people about those decisions. What needs to be done. Okay, and likewise when we're Hosha and we want to, let's say, well, I don't know, we have an idea or a suggestion or something, some feedback that we want to give to the Tao Center or the Transmitting Master. Again, we go through the same protocol. Okay, so we contact the directing lecturer, okay, who's responsible, and then directing lecturer will then communicate that to the directing transmitter, and the directing transmitter would then bring it up with the Tao Center. Okay. All right. So also as Hosha, we should not criticize ZhiShan in front of others. Okay. Again, that's kind of, we shouldn't cause anyone to lose face in front of other people. Okay. So then that's not good. At least we can privately, if there's something that maybe they made a mistake or did something that was not, that may have offended someone or whatever, bring that up privately. Okay. And we should not complain, gossip, or say negative things. Try not to, anyways. This is one of the things that, unfortunately, in the temple you still hear a lot of these things. Okay. Now, give more positive encouragement and guidance, right? And show that we care about the well-being. We should always try to encourage and motivate and guide them, say positive things, don't say negative things. And show that also that we care about their well-being and, their family's well-being, because maybe they're having a rough time in their life, whether it's family or work or something. We have to show that we care, about that. Now, we should speak about painstaking efforts and sacrifices of ZhiShan, to the Tao Ken in general. Okay, so this is, in Chinese we say, I guess, Buddha, which is, I think it's basically, you can say, talk about their virtues, right? So, but talk about their sacrifices, what they went through, their sacrifice to bringing this Tao to us, making all this possible. Now, because we have a good environment to study the Tao, we should think of the source when we drink the water, right? So without the ZhiShan, we would not be here today. We do not want the Hosha who may have greater abilities to look down upon the ZhiShan, all right? So today, because you can say, education is more advanced than it was in previous generation, it's each succeeding generation is more advanced. People today, the younger people, they might think, hey, they know a lot. They know a lot more than the predecessors, than our ZhiShan. But those are only in certain aspects, right? So actually, many of the predecessors and Chenshin of the previous generations, they did not have, many of the skills that we have, or they could have also, a lot of them were illiterate, right? But they had wisdom, right? They also had faith, and they also had the will to carry out their mission, right? And they're all sincere and also willing to sacrifice for the Tao. Okay, so that is more important actually than other worldly knowledge that we have or skills. Obviously, our skills can be used, right? If the temple has a use for it, and we can use it. But again, just because we have skills doesn't mean that we are better. We're not, because we're lacking in the wisdom and maybe the faith, that spirit of cultivation, spirit of sacrifice. Okay, those are important qualities that we must have. Okay, so never look down on ZhiShan, never look down on anyone actually. We see some people, they're people, Dao members, staff members today who, they can't do much, but they will clean the bathrooms, the toilets, they will clean the floor, they will do these things, they will do the cooking. Okay, hey, you gotta respect them. Who's willing to do those things, right? So you just have to ask yourself, am I willing to do those things, do what they do? If not, then you have no right. We have no right to disrespect them, look down upon them. Okay, but anyways, yeah, in general, we have to respect everyone. They all have Buddha nature. It doesn't matter, what their abilities are. All right, we should use wisdom to motivate and guide people, show some care and concern for them. Don't just call them to ask them to come to class and to fulfill their vows, right? So that's, so maybe that's sometimes we do that, maybe it's like, oh, call up these people, try to get them to come to class. But you have to show that you care about their lives, right? Care that, are they healthy? Are they, things going well at home? Do they have any problems? Maybe we can try to help them in some way. Okay, so then people will feel, there's this warmth, there's this people in the temple, they care about us. Okay, so that's really very important. Right? We should build up and maintain a friendly relationship with them and care about the family's well-being. Okay, we should be patient and sincere with a true heart. Again, sometimes, maybe they do have legitimate excuse, like they're working all the time, they to support their family, and they really don't have the time to come to class. You have to be understanding, considerate, but of course, we try to keep encouraging them, and maybe try to find other ways to connect with them, or have them connect with the temple, or with this, the scriptures, bring them the teachings, right? So there are many other ways. So that's why we have to use our wisdom in dealing with all these situations that people can be in, right? We also need to convey the correct words and actions of ZhiShan, promote merit, right? So when we have some achievement, do not take all the credit, right? So it's like, sometimes like, I just did this, right? And it's like, we should say, instead, we should push the credit upwards and thank the grace of heaven and virtues of the teachers, predecessors, ZhiShan, mercy masters, and Dao Center even. Okay, so basically it's not, sure, maybe it's because we have this ability that we can do these things, we did this then, but again, the opportunity was given to us, okay? And so we should thank all these, the grace of heaven, the virtues of teachers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it's not, we shouldn't just say, hey, all the credit is mine. Okay, it's not, right? And actually, if we have that mindset, that attitude, I guess, of claiming that credit or merit, then it's not true merit. Okay, it's not the true merit. Okay. So in this way, the Tao can get a sense of the team spirit in the temple, right? So when we do that, right, when we push that credit to others, even to above, then when the Tao can, they see that, they say, wow, okay, so it's like everyone is working for the greater good, for the greater whole, and they're working kind of like it's teamwork. Okay, it's not the individual. It's not about the individual achieving right? Or doing something. Okay, now, so now following the golden thread is to follow the ZhiShan and guide the Hoshe. So this is basically an aspect of the golden thread, or part of what it is, to abide by the temple ethics and the etiquette, right? So see, if we follow the ZhiShan, right, we inherit the true teachings from the patriarchs, right? That's why we kind of follow them, follow their guidance, follow their spirit cultivation, right? Follow their directions. We respect the teachers and value the Tao, thank their grace, and make known their virtues, right? So that's what we should do as, and so this is part of maintaining our golden thread as well. All right, so what we are talking about, right, is the temple ethics and propriety between ZhiShan and Hoshe. So that's what this承上启下is about, right? The Hoshe should respect ZhiShan and work together in harmony. The ZhiShan should help Hoshe to progress and have a tolerant attitude as well. In helping them, we have to be patient and tolerant. So whether we are dealing with ZhiShan or Hoshe, we must cultivate the spirit of selflessness, right? So we are kind of in between. When we are dealing with Hoshe or we're dealing with ZhiShan, we are hopefully selfless, right? Although we are kind of facilitating something, the self should not exist. Okay, the ego should not exist there. Okay, right? Because we are doing it for them. We are doing it for the greater good. Okay. So basically, this what we call respect teachers, value the Tao, follow ZhiShan, guide Hoshe is an embodiment of the temple disciplines and ethics. Right? It allows us to repay the grace of holy teachers. Right? It gives us a chance to fulfill our duties and vows. It keeps us in this golden thread. Okay, and it maintains the ethical order of the temple. Right? So there is a certain because the Tao is order, right? There is a sense of order in the Tao, and so we should maintain that. And this helps to maintain that kind of order within the temple, and it allows the temple to function more smoothly. Okay, so when you have these protocols, you have these procedures that you follow, then it's not, then you won't have all sorts of problems. Okay, when you're trying to do things more chaotically. Okay, so basically, these are basically, it's kind of like a generalization. I'll point out it's kind of a generalization of the first two of the 15 temple rules and regulations, right? First one is respect the Buddha. Second one is follow seniors and guide juniors. Okay, so that's pretty close. That's exact match there. But it's kind of a generalization of those two. And also you can say that it is well, actually, all precepts and stuff and proprieties are basically part of, you can say, or a specific instance of the Zhongshen Qingfan, emphasize the holy over the mundane, right? That's the first Dharma class vow. So from the Dharma class, when you take that vow, everything else, the precepts, the proprieties, all these rules and regulations, they all fall under that category, that vow. Really. Okay, so we have to work on fulfilling those. Now, so the teachers, they're very important, right? Because we can never fully repay the grace of heaven and the holy teachers. So, and even if we have boundless merits, right, we will be hard to save if we forget our teacher, right? Especially our holy teacher. So that's the case if we go and, after receiving the Tao, then we go to seek another spiritual teacher. That would be a mistake, because that would be forgetting our holy teacher, okay? And would be hard to get salvation that way, okay? So to be successful in doing this, we have to be a good role model and walk the talk, okay? And we must stay on the middle path, right? And let go of all self-centeredness. Right, so that's it. If I had said anything wrong, I ask the Buddhas and saints for forgiveness, and also ask transmitting masters and lecturers for their corrections.